The perimeter is secure. You barred the door. For the first time in weeks, the silence isn't terrifying. It's a relief. You are staring at a gold mine. Rows of canned goods, sacks of grain, sealed jars. You think you've won. You think because you have calories, you have a future. You are naive. That pantry isn't a lifeline. It is a biological minefield. You are looking at food, but I am looking at a collection of silent executioners. In this environment, a full stomach is often the last thing you ever feel. You grabbed everything you could carry without checking the integrity of the containment. You prioritized quantity over chemistry. Now you are about to make a tactical error that ends with your nervous system shutting down while you gasp for air on the floor. The threats are microscopic. They are odorless, and they are waiting inside the very supplies you fought to secure. Stop eating. Listen to me. We are going to audit your stockpile, because right now, your dinner is trying to kill you. You are holding a dented can of peaches. You think it's a bargain. Put it down. That dent near the seam isn't a cosmetic defect. It is a breach in the perimeter. You are about to introduce the most potent biological weapon on Earth directly into your bloodstream. We are talking about botulism. The bacteria Clostridium botulinum does not care about your hunger. It thrives exactly where you think your food is safest, in an oxygen-free, low-acid environment. That sealed can is its paradise. Amateurs look for mold. Professionals look for pressure. If that can is bulging, even slightly, the bacteria inside are active. They are feasting on the contents and releasing gas as a byproduct. If you open a can and it hisses, not a vacuum seal release, but a spray of pressure, you do not taste it to check. You treat it like a live grenade. You discard it far away from your camp. The liquid inside should be clear. If it is milky or smells like old cheese when it shouldn't, the bacterial colony is already established. Here is the drill. Inspect every single seal. Run your finger along the rim. If you feel a sharp edge or a compromise, the can is trash. If you are desperate and the can looks intact but you have doubts, you do not eat it cold. You apply thermal shock. You boil the contents for at least 10 to 20 minutes before consumption. This is non-negotiable. Why does this kill you? It's not an infection. It's an intoxication. Clostridium botulinum is an obligate anaerobe. It creates spores that are nearly indestructible, but inside the can, these spores germinate into vegetative cells that produce the botulinum toxin. This is a neurotoxic protein. When you ingest it, it travels to your neuromuscular junctions. It acts as a blockade. The toxin binds to the nerve endings and prevents the release of acetylcholine, the chemical messenger that tells her muscles to contract. Your brain screams move, but the muscle never gets the signal. It starts with your eyes, double vision, drooping lids. Then it moves down, trouble swallowing, weakness. Eventually it hits the diaphragm. You don't die from the poison itself. You die because your chest muscles literally forget how to breathe. You suffocate while being fully conscious. There is no ventilator coming to save you. Boil the damn food, or prepare to suffocate in silence. Secure the cans. Now look at those bags of dried beans. You think because it's a vegetable, it's harmless. You found a bag of dry red kidney beans. You are hungry, fuel is scarce, so you decide to soak them briefly and let them simmer over low embers to save wood. Congratulations, you just brewed a chemical weapon. Eating raw or undercooked kidney beans isn't just hard on your stomach. It is an incapacitating event that will take you out of the fight. Here's the rule. Never eat a kidney bean raw. Never cook them in a slow cooker setup or over low heat from the start. You must soak them for at least 5 hours. Dump that water. It is toxic waste. Then you boil them aggressively for at least 30 minutes. The water must be rolling. If you don't have the fuel to maintain a hard boil, leave the beans. Red kidney beans contain phytohemagglutinin, PHA. It is a lectin. In raw beans, the concentration is high enough to be acute poison. Paradoxically, if you cook them at a low temperature, below 80 degrees Celsius, you don't destroy the toxin, you amplify it. You make it 5 times more potent than if you ate the bean raw. PHA binds to the carbohydrate receptors on the lining of your intestine. It strips away the mucosal barrier and triggers a violent rejection response. Massive vomiting, diarrhea, cramps. In the old world, you went to the ER for fluids. Here, you get severe dehydration. You lose electrolytes you cannot replace. You die of hypovolemic shock next to a pot of lukewarm beans. The beans are neutralized. Now, check the rice sacks. You stocked up on brown rice because you were thinking about vitamins and fiber. That was a civilian mindset. In the field, brown rice is a liability, while white rice is practically immortal, lasting 30 years if sealed correctly. Brown rice is a ticking clock. It has a shelf life of 6 months to a year before it turns against you. If you are hoarding this for the long winter, you are hoarding garbage. Open the bag. Take a deep breath. Does it smell like old paint, wet cardboard, or crayons? That is rancidity.
Do not cook it. Do not try to mask the flavor with spices. If it smells off, the nutritional value is compromised and it will wreck your digestion. Your supply chain must consist of white rice only. The difference is structural. Brown rice still has its bran and germ attached. These layers are rich in unsaturated fats and oils. White rice has been stripped of this weakness. Oxygen attacks those oils in a process called lipid oxidation. The chemical bonds break down, creating peroxides and aldehydes. This doesn't just taste foul, it introduces free radicals into your system. Furthermore, rancid fats destroy vitamins, specifically vitamin A and E, in the food itself. You are eating something that expends your body's resources to process rather than fueling it. It is negative equity. Dump it. Your supplies are dry. You head outside to hunt. Watch out.
You catch a rabbit, then another. You think you are thriving because you have fresh meat. You are wrong. If you are eating only lean game, rabbits, squirrels, even lean venison without added fat, you are slowly killing yourself. It is called rabbit starvation. You can eat until your stomach is distended, but you will waste away. You will feel an insatiable hunger that more meat cannot satisfy. Do not just eat the muscle. The muscle is useless on its own. You need the gross parts. Crack the bones for marrow. Eat the brains, render the fat around the kidneys. If you cannot find fat, you must scavenge for nuts or oily seeds to supplement the kill. If you only eat lean steak, you die. Your liver has a limit. It can only process a specific amount of protein per day. When you metabolize protein, the byproduct is nitrogen, which is converted into urea. If you flood your system with protein and zero fat/carbohydrates, you overload the liver's ability to clear ammonia. This leads to hyperammonemia. Your blood becomes toxic. You get diarrhea, headache, fatigue, and low blood pressure. Your body starts cannibalizing its own muscle tissue for the energy it can't get from the meat. It is a metabolic dead end. You found a loaf of bread or a bag of grain with a spot of green mold. You take a knife and scrape it off. You think, good enough. You are an idiot. You didn't clean the food. You just gave yourself a false sense of security while eating poison. In a survival scenario, a compromised immune system cannot handle mycotoxins. If you see mold on anything porous, bread, soft fruits, cooked grains, throw the entire batch away. Do not try to salvage it. Fire is the only cleansing agent here. Burn it so the spores don't spread to your clean stash. The mold you see is just the flour, the reproductive structure. The real danger is the hyphae, microscopic roots that grow deep into the food, invisible to the naked eye. These roots transport mycotoxins throughout the entire loaf. Worst of all are aflatoxins, produced by molds on grains and nuts. They are carcinogenic and hepatotoxic. They destroy your liver cells. Acute exposure leads to hepatic failure. You scrape off the fuzz, but the chemical weapon is already deep inside the grain. You are eating invisible damage. The apocalypse isn't just about bullets and barricades. It is about biology. It is about understanding that the world is trying to recycle you. You have walked through your pantry and identified the threats. You know that a dented can is a grenade, that raw beans are poison, and that lean meat is a trap. You are no longer a scavenger picking up trash. You are an operator securing resources. The panic is gone, replaced by protocol. You inspect, you process, you verify. Let the amateurs gamble with expiry dates. You rely on physics and chemistry. You will not die from a bad dinner. You will eat, you will process the fuel, and you will be ready for the real fight tomorrow. Stay sharp.